Hello everybody. Welcome back to the channel where we talk about stuff. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already done so. It's a good way to subscribe and support the channel because I make videos every single day. Magical, right? So if we can have a little bit of honesty talk between you and I, me, us, we in the room. The cryptocurrency market is acting really weird, and people say that they know why, and other people claim that it's just part of the market cycle, and some people say that the market cycle is broken, what have you. The expectation, if you've missed any of the last 3,000 videos. Okay, I'll whittle it down to the last like 3 weeks. For some reason, wink, analysts are still hyper bullish on the market. Not slightly bullish, but, and I can even tell you from context to like right now, they estimate, and I say this as the messenger, they estimate that basically prices are going to kind of only go up from here. It doesn't matter which coin, it doesn't matter which faction, it doesn't matter which chain at the moment. For some reason, as we went over before, if you missed it around March, remember April, May, and June. And as we are currently in the midst of all of this, and currently at the time of me making this video, in a better position for the tariffs, for those of you who miss it, as far as I understand from the news, I think nearly all the tariffs have been dropped except for like one country or something along those lines at the moment. There seems to be a lot less tension within global, I mean, compared to like 4 days ago, a lot less tension than there literally was 4, 5, 6, 7 days ago. On top of that, I don't know where this is coming from, but there's an enormous amount of speculation. I mean, really, people won't stop talking about it. That the Federal Reserve, the people who print monies within the United States of America, are basically going to buckle relatively soon and start printing more money. That printing of money will then flow into the stock market, which flows into the cryptocurrency market, which flows into the NFT market, which then causes prices to go a lot higher. And then we finally see the actual come down. A lot of people think that this should all materialize by the time we get to summer. Recently, a lot of news continuously flows around, and as I've mentioned before in thousands of other videos, it is impossible for me to cover everything at once or everything on the same day. It would result in me having 17 different videos actually being released every single day. That would be far fatiguing for you and I. It is not going to ever work out that way. So, the news that we've gotten recently, this was about 3 or 4 days ago-ish, is that Ripple recently purchased a company that it was for like $1.5 billion. Some kind of a money transmitter, remittance, moving money around the world kind of company, which sent people ablaze because we realized that everything that has to do with Ripple has to do with XRP. It's kind of like their mantra. Years ago, things were kind of separate and all over the place, but now we know that they're all completely tied together. That was the excitement when we heard that they're working with a dozen central banks, because it essentially means that they would be making it on the XRP blockchain. Even if they're using their own stable coin, it would essentially mean it's using the rails, and therefore in the background, it's also burning XRP. We are still now having conversations about Ripple going public. The lawsuit, the lawsuit looks like it's finished. As far as like 3 weeks ago, we heard there was a video from Brad Garlinghouse, the CEO of Ripple, who was like, it's over. It's finally over. The lawsuit's over. And then somebody else wrote something and they were like, you guys are still fighting over like the other part. And then apparently like 2 days ago, that other part is also being resolved. Like resolved. And now we're hearing rumors that Ripple, the company, down from a $3 billion with a B billion-dollar fine is down to just $50 million. And apparently they're going to be paying this off in XRP, which is now fueling speculation that this is also going to be another way that the United States is going to begin to accumulate XRP as well. There's 9 million things happening all the time. On top of all of this are the expectations from now until the end of the year. Every analyst is screaming at the top of a mountain that because, if you missed it, when stocks were going down, usually crypto goes down with it, but something weird happened. We started going sideways and actually moved up as stocks began to fall, which has led a number of other analysts to begin to chime in and basically say that the cryptocurrency market looks like it has officially decoupled from the stock market, indicating that basically everyone who wanted to sell has sold. Everyone who was afraid of the market is out of the market. All we basically have now are accumulators. This happens, and I say it this way as well. I know this cycle feels weird, but it's also going by the same exact rhythm that we've seen for thousands of years in crypto. There's always a massive flush out. And during that flush out, we feel like something's wrong or something's amiss. Prices end up going back up, and then we find out later it's literally because all the people who got into the market looking to make quick and fast money didn't make quick and fast money. So they left the market, they sold their coins. Their coins in this instant would go to you if you've been accumulating, if you weren't afraid this cycle, to institutions, to banks, to governments, and to BlackRock, which is basically the entire planet at this point. And thus begins another new upwave cycle, basically where there's no one willing to sell and only people willing to buy because of the expectation that prices are going to be a lot higher in the future. This is kind of where we're supposed to be like right now. The news is apparently it looks like XRP could be rising by another 200% from its current levels. This is according to Standard Chartered. Standard Chartered is one of those, whatever, it doesn't really matter. They're also like an analytical platform as far as like analyzing the market and telling us where things are going to go. We usually have a good, I don't know what this is. We usually have a good basket of companies who come forward and tell us where they think prices are going to go, where the market is, what to look for, and Standard Chartered also just happens to be one of them. The native token of XRP, the fourth largest coin, looks like it is going to go to $5.50. This is according to the bank's digital asset researcher called Jeff Kendrick. Blah, 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 current prices. He said, and I quote, "We think XRP's price gains can keep pace with Bitcoin in real terms. XRP is uniquely positioned at the heart of one of the fastest growing uses for digital assets, facilitation of cross-border and cross-currency payments," also adding that he foresees XRP's price hitting $12.50 per coin. The other thing was, what was it? The thing that Ripple acquired, was it a tokenization platform? No. It was something cross-border, but the idea of tokenization is also gaining ground quite rapidly. If you missed a week ago, we heard from Larry Fink, the CEO of BlackRock, and news like this should tantalize everyone or like make everyone really excited, but it's one of those things that people like don't really like understand completely. Like it makes sense, but they're like, oh, I don't know how it's supposed to be. The idea of tokenization or like the digitalization of everything is at like the forefront of kind of where all of this is going as well. And Ripple being a part of it, basically the idea, for those of you who missed some of the other videos, I know I keep saying that, is because there's a lot of videos, basically comes down to everything that has value at some point will be put onto a blockchain and digitized in some sort of way, your home, your car, as like proof that not only do you actually own it, but also like the fractionalization of things. And Ripple is also in the middle of this. So this is where the expectations are coming from as time goes on as to what this coin is going to be able to do and the price that it's going to hit. There are still, and I admire your conviction, a lot of people who are talking about a $25, $50 XRP over the course of this cycle. There's a lot of long-term $100 XRP. If I can be completely honest with you, it's obvious that XRP is going to hit $100. It's just a matter of when. And I say that from the context of if Bitcoin was 1 cent and then $10 and $1,000 and $100,000, if we're talking about $1 million Bitcoin. I was just chatting with a friend who was like, yeah, Bitcoin's obviously at some point going to go to $25 million per coin. It's just about time and adoption. And we're at like the pivotal point right now where all the adoption is taking place. But very few people are actually paying attention. Yeah. So it is nice to continuously hear that people think that we are in for like the ride of our lives price-wise this year, even though the market is currently a little bit weird. Yeah. I do hope that you've all enjoyed. I do hope you all are having a great day, morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are, wherever you might be. I do hope it is absolutely fantastic. Thank you all once again for watching, listening, liking, commenting, and supporting. And I will most certainly be talking to you all soon. See you.